dance moves change every day? Do you do a different dance, or is that your same routine? You just let the music flow through you every day in a different way?
Similar beat. It's different levels of like stylistic, how much I'm moving on or how much I'm rolling on.
We need the supercut every day to see, how much deviation there really is.
Nobody wants to watch that.
The coconut.
Coconut something, yeah.
Taylor Martin, welcome to Taylor Martin. Happy Thursday? Friday. This 420 week. Oh my god. Okay, we've got to. You see how loud that is? Back up. It was drowning us out for sure. All right, let's not torture them anymore. We already broke their eardrums with that. Boy, you do love it, don't you? Was it the first royalty-free song that you found, or did you actually spend time and go, oh, that's the one?
I spent about 3.5 minutes.
And that, 3.5 minutes is...
To listen to the 15-second samples of songs.
Yeah. So if you listen to a lot of podcasts and shit, you become kind of familiar with the oeuvre of popular royalty-free music. And I think there's a reason I don't recognize that one.
It doesn't, it's not even hitting the same beats as the oeuvre, or...
I think, the people who had iMovie back in 2008 that had all the royalty-free music on it that were launching a podcast for the first time, and there are 6 songs that are royalty-free, and so 5 of them everybody has heard all the time everywhere because they're just in everything, because those are the only songs that people use as royalty-free music. There was another one, and it was this one, and everybody was just nah, we're good, man.
Oh, you think this was one of the 6?
I think this...
I think this is a new creation.
I think it's been around as long as Evil has.
I do love how much you hate it.
Okay. Well, that's. I'm glad it's bringing somebody some pleasure in some way, even if it is, not shocking, just
yeah, delighting in your.
It's trolling, just classic. Yeah, and I like trolling too. Welcome everybody. It is day 4 or 5, one of those days of the days of haze here on Weeats, our lead up to 420. So we've been doing 420 streams. I was going to say we've been doing them every day, but I've been doing streams every day for quite some time now. But we've been doing extra special 420 streams. And what makes them extra special? Not a lot, but we came up with a couple of pretty thin, that's it?
That's really, yeah, that's really
kind of it. That's all the effort you're going to put in. Gimmicks, they're pretty cool. And by pretty cool, I mean 1/4 assed.
Ass.
Yeah, ass. So what are those crappy little gimmicks we've come up with? Well, if you've been here on any of our, what are we calling it? Days of Haze.
Days of Haze.
It'll count down to 420. We're adding 1 unit of weed per stream. Unit is a clumsy way of describing some kind of intake of weed.
Because you can't really... A volcano bag isn't really the same thing as these other... Or a dab or a capsule, but...
None of these are perfectly equivalent.
So unit.
Yeah, units. So what are we up to? I think today we are up to 6 units of weed. I don't know why I'm using 10 fingers to denote 6 units.
I think maybe we don't know how to count
6
days very well.
Monday, It was 3.
Oh, you started on 3. That's right. That's right. I was thinking like if 420 was the end of a week.
We didn't start on this. We should have started on Sunday. Well, remember how I started by saying like this poorly thought out, half-assed?
Right.
We also had GIFs though.
There are GIFs, yeah.
There are no GIFs, only GIFs.
There are GIFs.
Do you think?
So would you say there were 5 yesterday?
Yes.
So today there's going to be 6.
We're going to add a new guy to our GIF lineup. Yesterday we had Leo. Leo was our 5th.
Yeah. Don't.
Well, if they were here, we're not going to spoil our 6th.
Okay. Yeah.
And of course, you'll see them all again today, and you'll say like,
"Oh, wow, that's really all they're doing."
Thin. Fair criticisms that you will definitely have.
Okay, so tomorrow's 7.
Yeah.
And then the big day is 8.
420 is at least 8.
At least 8.
Because there's going to be 4 hours.
Sky's the limit on 420.
4 hours of streaming on 420.
And everybody's going to want to see that week.
Yes. And so we're going to have a lot. But because we're going to be doing a lot of weed in a lot less time, we need to get right to it. And let's start with the volcano, the classic. We are on. I did remember to turn it on ahead of time. Beautiful.
It's out of shelves.
Taylor says, let's see your guys' dogs. He looks cute. I don't know which one was in the background, but here's one right here.
Here's one of them. Let's see it. Again, bud. Laying down. He's old.
There's an old dog. There's a quite old dog, but the youngest dog we have. Bag number 1 of 6 units. Yeah. What if you lose the ability to as a chief?
Never.
At what age, if a kid said, I'm X and a half, would you think, oh, that's no longer adorable, and more like, that's a little curious? How old can you be and still be a half? Oh, that is that's a good shortcut, a good heuristic. Once you hit double digits, you can no longer you have to be a whole number at that point.
Yeah. Once you're 10, then you figure 10 and a half.
I like it. I like it a lot. If you're 10-year-olds are cool, 10 and a half-year-olds are a little fucking weirdos.
I mean, you don't have to do anything. I just found your hair.
My hair or dog hair?
No, that was definitely your hair.
I'm going bald.
No, it's normal.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Thank God. All right, so we got our first bag. This bag. Oh, we forgot to do our gift.
I was slacking.
Gift number 1. Dewey. We've seen Dewey. Let's do our math. 3 plus 4 plus 5 times.
Probably minus 1 or 2.
Yeah, let's say
surely
if we've done it optimally, we've done it 3, 4, 5 times plus 1 more now for this. So 3 plus 4 is 7 plus 5 is 12. Proud of myself for that. This is our 13th showing of Mr. Cox. That seems like a good omen to me. Thanks to everyone for being here. This first bag is for everybody out there in chat. Happy 420 week. We're almost there. Producer's going to go grab an actual physical object. It's an album. It's an an album artwork for my favorite Dewey Cox album. There's so many great ones to choose from. But There's a Hole in My Pants by Dewey Cox it's an all-time classic.
This has been a long time beloved item in our house. Ooh, dusty.
It's certainly been in the back on some streams before.
Got a hole in his pants.
That's a great title for an album.
So great 1 second jokes in a movie. All of Walk Hard is so good, but there's the montage where like Dewey's albums just sort of float by. And
There's a Hole in My Pants.
Yeah.
Looks like we've got Katie B joining us as well. I think I said hi to Sneeps. GTR0, happy to see you, man. Thanks for being here. And then
a technical question. A relevant question.
What temperature do we go with? On my volcano, I usually start GTR0 at like 380. And I usually go up 10 degrees per bag and do usually 3 bags or so per oven filling chamber. So
Crucible.
Somewhere from like 380 to low 400s.
Let's see. There, now you can even see it above the chat.
It's such a perfectly named object too. And in addition to just being such a great product, it's evocative. It's immediately clear why it's called a volcano. Mm-hmm. It is also very pointed in what you actually use it for. It's great. Stores and Bickle, you really knocked it out of the park here. Then we have, and I'm so sorry if I get your name wrong, my friend Kamyar. Sorry if I mispronounce it. Please let us know how to say it, and I would do a much better job, I hope. He says, Stoner Jesus lives and lurks out of the shadows and into the stream. Thanks for being here, man. Happy 420 Eid to you.
They also have a device called the Venti.
That is brand new.
It's brand new.
Like a month old.
It's like is it a tiny version of the Mighty?
It's actually significantly more powerful than the Mighty.
Portable, but more efficient.
Yes.
But right, the same size Crucible, maybe.
Crucible?
Or
Capsule?
Capsule.
Yes, it is. I think it is the same size capsule. But it heats up quicker and all kinds of other things.
Okay. Quicker.
Oh, I think you can even use like the Volcano's new hookah stuff with it. So there's a new Volcano that has like almost like a hookah type attachment. And I think maybe you can use that here. Maybe I'm wrong. Anyways, Stores and Bixel. They've got a new portable vaporizer out there. We've got our Mighty and our Volcano. I would say that's plenty. Because they also offer a vaporizer that's called the Plenty. So it's a pun.
You'd have to really know their offerings to get the joke, though.
Yes.
Anyway.
I was going to hope to see something else I can make a pun with. It wasn't going to work, but... a mighty fine effort. This is the Mighty.
Plus.
As good as I have.
Yeah, exactly.
I wish I was more clever. I love puns and plays on words. I think pun is the highest form of humor that there is. I just am not. I would love to be able to do them, just not. You
do them sometimes.
And you said doo-doo.
I did.
And people say doo-doo also pleases me immensely. It's the second highest form of humor.
He asked, is audio cutting? That might be our fault.
Oh, thank you, Katie, for the heads up. Maybe it's our fans' fault. Let us know if that. Oh, it was probably when the volcano hasn't been on in a while. Let us know if our audio is okay out there. Sorry about that, and thank you for the heads up. Oh, I got it exactly right. Kamyar, I think.
No, I don't remember what you said.
Well, I said it two different ways.
So maybe they're both great.
That can't be true, but I'm happy to make the effort. GTR0 says with his vaporizers, he starts at 330, which is probably what I need to do anyways, just to help with the coughing. But and it is certainly more flavorful if you are in it for your optimal taste profile for your flower. The lower temperature you vape at, the more of the flavor remains uncorrupted, intact, whatever we want to describe it as.
Now, I haven't gone so far as to like read a manual, but I will just say in Stortz and Bickle's images that they have on the site of the volcano, it shows 180 degrees C.
Yes, but Stortz and Bickle assumes that you're going to use it to make herbal blends like lavender tea.
Anyways, 180 degrees Celsius is 356 Fahrenheit.
Maybe Stortz and Bickle no longer has to make that dumb, like, oh, we think you're going to use this for the thing that you're so 100% obviously not going to use it for, nor the thing we really designed it for. We all know what we're here for, but we're going to have some pretense, like, we're going to give you recipes on how to make grind up, fucking clover and shit. Nobody's doing that. But now that Germany is a country with full legality, I think, I don't know the nuances of their law. It Storz and Bickle is a German company, so maybe they no longer have to pretend that people are making herbal tea blends with their mighties and plenties and venties and volcanoes. It really breaks the naming convention of those others. I see that they have a like every company that can be even slightly associated with weed is going to have a 420 special this week. Even ones that don't have anything to do with weed, even ones that would find having an association with weed otherwise harmful will probably try to exploit the 420 day to make a few extra dollars. God bless capitalism. Sam, welcome. Sam says, do I like Steezies? Yes, I do, Sam. I like Steezies quite a bit. We were talking the other day about, and we've talked plenty about weed consolidation here. Who is eventually going to be like the big players when weed is inevitably legalized in the US and businesses can go from being the modestly sized and hugely financed companies that they are now to the huge sized and mega financed that they all aspire to be. And I would say Steezy is probably one. I wonder who is backing Steezy right now. If you're a mega weed brand already, it's likely you've got some money from some big players already. It's astounding how much money is in weed. A lot of it just parked there ready for national legalization. Further, in addition to the amount of money just parked there, ready, waiting, and ready to go. I mean, not that the states that have recreational medical aren't already making a lot of money for some people, but there's just a lot more to be made. The most just awful, damning, corrupt, gross part about it all is the greedy vultures at the center of a lot of the mega weed money out here. Well, who are they? Who were they? I mean, they were the lobbying arms of these people, not the actual ones like founded these things, but the lobbying arms, the connected aspects. Well, they're all, a lot of them are frequent old Republican leaders of Congress. You've got like your Paul Ryans, your John Boehners, all out there making weed money, shilling for weed companies. These people who...
Wait, I don't know. Wow.
John Boehner is so huge in weed right now. Former Speaker of the House, John Boehner.
Oh my gosh.
And
that's so...
these are people who, spent their careers trying to...
making sure it was not legalized.
Yeah, and
then they're going to make their...
demonizing people who used it. And now that they are, free agents, not beholden to voters, they're out there...
beholden to the money.
Yeah, beholden to the dollar. So it's gross. It's laughably corrupt. It's so nakedly transparent. God bless America. God bless us. Let's get to this bag. Producer, please help me. Buddy, you're going to have to go.
I got to help you with the dog.
Squiddy, go, buddy. Go. Sorry, you got to go.
Okay. Here, you can lie down.
So, what was the question that I answered? Something about Steezy. Yes, Steezy. I love them. They make a hell of a great product.
Seem to be poised to make a hell of a product for the whole U.S. as soon as they can.
They already have a hugely recognizable name. A very
although contentious.
Oh yeah.
You would get so many comments on your vid saying that you were saying it wrong.
Oh
that
yes.
That you should be, and like they would spell it wrong and be like, "Bro, you should say it stizzy."
The stunning amount of people who know that it is pronounced stissy, stizzy, any kind of variation. I'm like, and I have verified, but it doesn't matter. It's
also just like if you see two anyway,
confidently incorrect. Steezy, they're great. And again, I would if you could find some vehicle to invest some money on them, it's probably not a bad bet.
If you can. I don't know. Are they traded, or that would be a?
I mean, there's certainly
have to be
a private investor.
Private.
If they had, it would be like in the private equity market.
Yeah, have a lot of money to do that. Down, dog. You're old.
That's money in literal and metaphorical ways.
Yeah.
He made a real show of it there. All right, let's seriously get through this first bag.
Speaking of making a show of it.
Yes. We'll get our second bag immediately going because we do have to get through 6 of these units. But I don't often do this. I think I'm going to have to, though. Before we get the second bag out, just somebody out there, what kind of questions do you guys have? What are you interested in? What do you want to know? Anything, first person to come up with a cool question, I'll try to give you an answer, and we'll dedicate our second bag to you.
Give you an answer and a tangent.
It's likely.
Is that the winning question? That's such an easy yes or no question.
Oh, GTR Zero 100% gets it. GTR Zero, thank you so much for your question. Yes, have we tried window burgers. And you might be out there thinking, GTR Zero, what's with the space? You don't know its window is one word. And to you, I say, hey, quit being such a judgmental piece of shit.
They really do spell it that way.
Yeah, who knows why? Yes, GTR Zero asks about the window burgers. For whatever reason, it's called the window, but it's spelled the window. They just opened maybe 3 months ago, something like that.
It was like rainy January or rainy December, one of those.
4 months ago, a while. A new location. It is a very, very, very tiny local chain. There's like a couple of them super trendy areas in Los Angeles. And they just opened up one in Long Beach close to us. It is a interesting little concept. It's a walk-up window, no seating. And they have a focus on a very small menu and pretty reasonable prices. They have like burgers. You can get a single or a double. They have a chicken sandwich. They have a salad. And they've got a couple of shakes. And then that's it. And it's like $6 for a burger, $6 for a chicken sandwich, which for Los Angeles prices are really good. They're open super late. And it is immensely popular here.
A cheeseburger is $4.35.
Wow, that is actually pretty incredible. That's cheaper than In-N-Out now.
Is that right?
I think so.
For a cheeseburger.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. The milkshakes are $6. That it seems standard.
It's great.
You can definitely pay more for milkshakes elsewhere.
I gotta get through this bag. GTR Zero, thank you for the question.
That is a great question.
I love the chicken sandwich. Love the chicken sandwich.
Oh yeah.
You explain.
Oh yeah. Finish the bag. Yeah. Who are local Long Beach or familiar with SoCal, as we might call it. So, yes, we're in Long Beach, which is in Los Angeles County, but it's distinctly not LA itself. Weeats' issue with the burger. I like their burger. Very good burger. They kind of go for like classic McDonald's style, sort of. But it is a smash burger, but you get it with onions, American cheese pickles, and house sauce. And if you ask them, like, hey, no onions, which I did the first time I ordered the burger for Weeats, and they're like, oh, okay, well, basically the onions are on the grill, so we can try. And I gave him the disclaimer, like, this might have some onions accidentally on it. And he opens it up and looks at the burger, and there's just onions all over the burger. So it's a great little burger. It's a great little stand. The fries, I really like the fries, shoestring fries. But yeah, if you're a I don't want any onions kind of place, they are not accommodating. That is not,
which is cool.
Which is fine. Burger.
I'm not complaining.
It's great.
It's a cool place, GTR Zero. Have you tried it yourself? Have you had the opportunity to stop by the window? And if so, what do you think? Are you as enamored with it as everybody else seems to be out this way?
And if you do want to try it, whether you've had it before or not, highly recommend the online ordering.
Yeah.
As it does get busy, it gets a little crowded for the walk-up window. I don't think they don't let you pre-order milkshakes.
We don't need to get that granular.
Oh yeah.
Helps. But anyways, speaking of online ordering, we live here in California, which had a sort of massive shift in its labor market recently.
Oh, right.
And we've sort of now seen a little bit the firsthand some of the consequences of this. Thank you so much, producer.
I forgot the gifts.
All right, so we've hit Dewey again. Let's get that dolphin sliding on there for GTR0. So yes, talking California. California had this massive thing that just went into effect last Monday, I believe.
Or the first of the month.
First of the month. Thank you. And what it is that all fast food workers, so not the entire labor market, not all the restaurant industry, but specifically fast food. And there are ways that they qualify what makes a restaurant fast food, not to get into it. I don't know all the exact minutia, but their minimum wage has increased. The state's minimum wage is like $15.25 an hour or something. But now fast food workers get a rather sizable bump in pay to like $20 an hour.
Almost 30% increase.
Yeah. And what's actually so cool about this is and I think maybe the most underreported aspect of all of this, and also not just did they get this huge increase in pay, which is awesome, they also got guaranteed like cost of living raises. Their pay is
for the future.
Yes, and their pay is already guaranteed to be like $22 an hour by something, like 2026 or something like that. Their cost of living expenses raises built in. So it's very cool for them. But as a result, a lot of fast food places here have been, of course, extreme assholes about it. They're small business owners, some of the worst, most demanding, most...
Well, anyways.
Yes, yeah. Small business owners complaining that they have to pay their employees more. So they're, in open rebellion by basically firing or getting rid of any employee that they can. And we're starting to already see things like, which we saw a place that did not have this before.
Didn't have it a month ago.
There's a local Popeyes close to us that used to have, you could do a mobile order, but you could go up to the register, which is I assume the majority of the orders there. They got rid of that entirely. You cannot speak to a person to take your order. They just have kiosks there now, and it is just a person who calls a number, a name. Like all the Pizza Huts in the state.
Well, the persons don't even call the name. They've got the what I'd first seen in McDonald's, the TV screen with the status for your order to try and help the customers push okay, the customer can see whether your order's being made or they say it's ready, and then you can go up and bother somebody who has to do all this back of the house stuff to come and get your order.
Now, here is the thing so all that just being said, interesting stuff happening here in California. I support the fast food. That is the part I forgot to mention. That I was like, it's the cool thing that's being underreported is the way it's happening. What is actually the mechanism here? And it's a very European-like thing. There's sectarian bargaining where the fast food employees have negotiated with the state as a whole industry. So instead of having the individual businesses that may or may not join a union, that may or may not combine with things, it is one sector, the fast food industry, that all bargains together, bargaining sort of with the state as an ally against against is the wrong word to talk about businesses and negotiations.
Just to protect their own sector.
So that's how we got such incredible things as like this massive giant race, these guaranteed cost of living things. And that is the way it is done in more, in Europe frequently, is that like whole sectors bargain together. Like, it is not sort of company by company determining which union they want to join. It's great, and I hope it's super successful here and it gets deployed other places. Second, I gotta do it.
I was gonna say I've got the dolphin still up. We need to take him down, but you need to do a little bit more of your bag.
Thank you, producer. Thank you. We got a lot to get through. I love Long Beach.
Neighbor.
It has been my home for 8 years.
Yeah.
And I could live here the rest of my life. It in some ways feels kind of pathetic. It's like, dude, how could you say like you'd feel comfortable just calling a place home? You have such a dearth of experiences in other places that you've seen and visited, and how myopic of you to be like, oh, this is great and good enough. And to that I say, you're probably right, but I also don't give a shit because it's fucking wonderful here. Long Beach is in many metrics, especially if you are a person who likes to be outside, likes good weather. It's kind of paradise. Like it's awesome here. It has its share of massive problems. It has ones both exclusive to Long Beach and then all of California's myriad problems. All of them, you can find examples of those problems here in Long Beach. But it's also great. And like I came from Tennessee, and I never felt like East Tennessee was like, I could spend the rest of my life here. Never had that sensation there. So maybe it's just a matter of comparison. It's like, anywhere's better than Blount County, but I don't know, man. It's pretty great here. Love Long Beach, and I hope you're enjoying it as much as I have our home for the past nearly decade now, and hope to have another decade. Katie, we are Katie B, I don't know what the actual numbers are, but there would be a huge overrepresentation of people from California in watching Weeats stuff, because the majority of the products that I review, the majority of the ways people find Weeats stuff is just like Googling or searching on YouTube, because YouTube is the second basically largest search engine in the world, or in the West. That's not true if you always doing that, conflating the West or the US with the world, which is bad, but let's say in the West. YouTube is such you don't think about it as a search engine, but it really is, functions as such. And it's remarkable. Google has basically the largest and second largest search engines. Anyways, the way people end up watching Weeats stuff to begin with is usually just searching for a product and review next to it. And that's why most people here are from California, because they found this from finding some weed review or whatever. Although I guess it's how I ever end up on people's algorithm recommendations, I will never know. Such a mystery to me. But second back.
State.
Oh, it doesn't.
Does it? Or
no, I think.
Oh, here it is.
California and Pennsylvania?
Maybe those are the only ones that report?
Maybe.
Wait, why would it only be those two?
I don't know. The YouTube analytics stuff, guys, is just fascinating.
There's a lot of charts to click on.
And they even let you get real granular with it, and let you choose your type of graph. Are you a bar chart guy? Are you a line plot? It's real nice. All right, I am going to focus on my second bag here. I'm going to get through it. It's GTR Zero's bag. We got 4 more to do. I got to focus. Right now.
I mean, as 15% of your total lifetime views, but it's also like those percentages don't add up to 100. So it's like, is there some percentage that they just don't know, or they're saying those are out of the country? Maybe people are using VPN.
Well, we do also know. Oh man, I have not seen any of our Scottish friends since I've been back. I have a lot of people who watch from the UK and from Scotland specifically, which I always thought was so fascinating and so cool. I always loved hanging out with them and chatting with folks. And whenever I could ask them, like, how did you end up here? It was always like, oh, yeah, you just showed up on my screen one day. And to me, I find that, like, I guess YouTube, I mean, I try not to watch YouTube anymore. I just use it as personally. I have a bit of a, some beats with YouTube. So I try not to support it. But
you don't like, you could just boil it down to you don't like ads.
Yes. But when I was on there, and if I would see, one of the things that it feeds up to you on your little watch list that we just all passively hit the thing and just get entertained by. And I would see like something that's just totally unrecognizable to me, kind of like, oh, what's this? My instinct is never, ever, ever to click that. It is 100% always the opposite. So I'm always,
I think you're just a much more conscientious, well, I don't mean to, like, I mean, you're very aware of the way you spend your time. You're very, like, why would I click on this thing that this website is just pushing to me? Where obviously, not that there's anything wrong with it, but I mean, the websites push it to you because a lot of people do click it.
Yeah, no, but I just don't have that. And I'm grateful that so many people do. But
because I mean, yeah, if you have people finding you that way.
Let's say though that like I saw some Scottish guy reviewing new Mountain Dew variants, and it was bubbled up to me on my YouTube homepage. Instead of being like, "Oh, that's fascinating," click on it, I would just reflexively not even like see it,
like anti-click on it.
My eyes would like bounce off of it.
Like avert.
Yeah.
Avert.
I'm not even as like a judgment call, but just like I don't know if it's where that comes from, but it's just like I try. It's also not a great thing. It can be very restrictive. It can lead you to not seeing cool, interesting things. But I don't know where it comes from. I have made so many YouTube videos. I've done so much live streaming. I always talk about this, but I am not really engaged in that stuff myself
as a user.
Yeah, at all. I've never ever watched anybody stream. Ever. I've never done it. I stream all the time. I mean, you guys have seen. I have literally never engaged in the thing that I find, and there's an extra sort of weird. I enjoy it. I get it. Even on both sides, like I see it how it can be engaging, but for some part of me, there's this just like, put up the wall there. You kind of reside somewhere in the state of in between, like you kind of
I mean, well, yeah, I've intentionally watched random people stream, both, I mean, for my own entertainment, but also sometimes from like a
you're a good producer.
Yeah.
Research.
Producer, yeah, doing research, just trying to understand, like, how can I understand Twitch better? Maybe by watching it. So I've done some of that, and I've clicked on things that are pushed to me. But you help me keep me more conscious of that. And now, I mean, I'm with you that I don't really watch. Well, I was gonna say I don't watch YouTube, but yeah, no, I'm following like links that other people are sending me to YouTube and watching that. I don't know. There's nothing else interesting to say about that.
Yeah. Last thing I'll say, and then I'm going to finish the bag.
Shameful. Yeah, you gotta hurry up on that bag.
Do me a favor. If you guys love streaming, I'm not streaming yourselves, but you have engage with it a bunch. You have a bunch of people you like to follow, and also if you like to support people, do me a favor and next time support. Please don't give money. I don't mean to judge or criticize. This is an earnest. It's awesome to support people. I think it's so great, and I think it's so cool because I think that this is a worthy thing for people to do, and it provides. I don't think all parasocial relationships are bad. I think actually they provide a lot of value for people. I think it's actually even a kind of a slander to call them that. But all that being said, please feel free to support anybody. I think it's great. Just don't support anybody who is already huge. If you have the instinct, or the instinct's the wrong choice of word. If you have the
urge,
or not even the urge, if you are the genuine good kind of person who likes to support people that provide things for you, you don't need to give it to the big guys. Give it to somebody small starting out. It means. And this is not, by the way, this is in no way, I mean, I don't do ads. This is not a secret plea in any way, shape, or form for me. I don't want anything from you. But if you are going to do it, find somebody who...
Like, don't give Mr. Beast money.
Don't
donate to Mr. Beast.
Whoever the big streamers are on whatever platform, if they have more than, 100,000 followers or whatever, that money that you would give to them would mean so much more to somebody who is small, especially if you do watch, like, it is so much more meaningful to them. And again, please understand this is not in any way, shape, or form a pitch from me. I don't want anything, but it's just, you don't need to give wealthy people even more resources. They've got plenty. And that is so preachy for me that I'm a little embarrassed. Anyways, let's do more weed and just forget all about that.
Need to buy an $80 Bible from
a billionaire.
A billionaire.
I think it was a $60 Bible.
Well, you don't need to buy
a value.
You don't need to buy an $80 Bible. You don't need to buy a $60 Bible.
Yes. Just take your streaming budget and give it to the person who you follow, like, enjoy, who has the least follower count, the least subscriber, whatever the metric is on whatever platform.
Wow, yeah, that's a great way.
Just give it to that person, that whole budget. It would mean so much more to that person. I guarantee it. But again, I don't mean to be preachy. You do whatever you want. And shut up. I just said I was going to try to alleviate my...
Yeah, do your bag.
Yes.
Here, do your bag. And
Thank you. I mean, I'm going to get in trouble. It's been a great time. Just slide in there.
essay and slightly besmirch the platform. But I thought you were going to say don't give the money to YouTube to donate to YouTube. Like,
Yeah.
Because a lot of people have, buy me a coffee or will post their Venmo or whatever. And that is, I mean, that's another layer of if you give the money on YouTube has taken
30%.
YouTube has taken 30%.
All platform except that
they all stole it from Apple, from the App Store. And yeah, so they're going to take 30%.
Yeah.
So use, if somebody posts buy me a coffee or their Venmo or PayPal or whatever, those are far less predatory in the, they take their cut, but it's a much smaller cut.
Great, excellent point for the producer. Just to reiterate,
just to be, we love a little bit of good anti-YouTube streamed on YouTube. So
if you like supporting people, and they have some way to support themselves that isn't on the big major platform, especially if it's YouTube, Twitch, or Facebook, do it there. There's a much, much lower fee. It's insanity that, YouTube takes, or Amazon takes such a percentage of a nominal donation to somebody.
I guess they don't see it that way, and I guess
of course they don't see it that way.
We don't have any consumer protections that see it this way, but it seems kind of donating. Like almost a third of what they're giving is just going to the giant corporation, and not to the individual. And of course, the giant corporation doesn't want to advertise that fact. Because they don't want to discourage anybody from giving on their platform where they're going to take this large cut.
And it's also, unfortunately, in the other guy's best interest not to disclose it, because they don't want to discourage people from...
Because, they know that, any friction, like, the thing is, like, just clicking the button on Twitch while you're watching the stream is the lower friction way that transaction is going to happen. And if you're like, hey, go to this other site, search for me, on here, or like, okay, I even included the link, but you still have to click it, and like, oh, you didn't have your credit card info already in there, so then you're going to have to do your credit card info on Buy Me a Coffee, and then you could give me some money. That's a lot of friction. Like, any friction is going... Did you finish your bag?
No, you were making such great points. I was
just going on. You were supposed to finish your bag.
You were going on. You know who you're talking to, right?
I know, you cut me off about the window, and I thought about it, like, what?
Shame on me for that one.
Yeah.
I've never, to be fair, I never say I'm not a hypocrite.
No, you don't say that.
I am a...
You never have.
Yeah. Neither do as I say, nor do as I do. Just ignore me.
Nor say as you do.
We're in danger of saying doo-doo again.
That could be the...
Wow, that was so much ranting there. I'm sorry, everybody. GTR0 says that they are near the pier, which is about to get quite the makeover, from what I understand.
In getting ready for the Olympics.
Have you heard one of the proposals that I think is pretty cool?
I have not. I just know that there's... I read so much about it like 3 years ago.
I think the current proposal, and of course, there are a lot of people trying to fight it and yada, 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 so on and so forth. The current proposal is that instead of... So here in Long Beach, we, like so many beach cities, have a pier, but ours is even grosser than the majority of them. And piers aren't that nice to begin with. This one's real nasty.
They got to deal with a lot of exposure.
The Navy Memorial Pier. Really not respecting the Navy that much there, I guess.
Well, we're not Seal Beach.
Right. So the pier we have right now is just a straight out and back kind of thing. What they're proposing is they want to build like a half circle.
Oh, to like an ode to the old Rainbow Pier.
And of course, the half circle would also be a rainbow. Yeah, there's a lot of rainbow imagery here in Long Beach.
Well, yes, we're a very gay community and pride, and like it's like the biggest pride parade after LA's. But no, it actually was like, I think before that, before the
Breakwater and stuff.
Yeah. There was Rainbow Pier, like a Rainbow Harbor with a rainbow shaped pier, like in.
I've seen the pictures. Yeah,
early 19. I know. Yeah, for everyone, early 1900s, like old Long Beach did have this before it would have any sort of gay implications of the rainbow. It was literally just a shape.
And which it will be again.
It will be again, but now also the gay.
There will be no implications. That's the only way they can get it passed, is if the city says, this is just a rainbow. It doesn't mean anything.
No,
cheesy.
Easy.
Speaking of Long Beach, our city here, it's about to get cracking. Literally, tomorrow begins the yearly Grand Prix that happens in downtown Long Beach. We have never really done it. It's a huge spectacle. It is actually, I don't give a shit about racing. Actually, in some ways, I find things like Formula One to be a kind of moral crime. We won't talk about that. But it's pretty neat. I see why people like it, though, because the cars go fast. Make loud noises.
Real loud.
And they drive around cities, like just in cities. And this is downtown Long Beach. I like Long Beach, but as far as cities for $1 million cars to be going irresponsibly fast around,
it seems like
pretty meh. When they can be going around like fucking Paris and Milan and what another European city, Quebec. I'm asking
cities.
European cities.
Quebec is a European. Okay.
See, I'm not that high. That was a joke. Because we all know Quebec is in Mexico. Uh-oh.
So our couple of Long Beach people in the chat. Do you like to go to the Grand Prix? Also we're just cheap. We're cheap. It's like $60 to get in and like see the cars go fast. So okay, it's not that we've never like been past the gate, but it's not to say we've never gone. Our trick, we actually learned this from our realtor.
There might actually be a Weeats review where this is happening. I can't promise it, but it is possible that I recorded a review in the middle of this process she's about to mention.
It's so loud. How? Anyways.
There's some real bad ones.
Yeah. Back in the archives.
Not that far back.
There's a Ferris wheel. There's where the Grand Prix goes through. It goes through downtown, but there's this part of our downtown that gets down to sea level and sort of loops around downtown. So it mostly, the main drag of the Prix is on that, and in between downtown and this looping near the water street is a small little outlet shopping center.
If you were in our stream yesterday, and I can't remember who brought it up, but if you were in our stream yesterday, it's very close to where the Hooters we spent a lot of time talking about is. You go right past, the cars go right past the Hooters we were talking about. So, please, I'm sorry to have interrupted.
Important deviation.
Yeah, but
right. Okay, so little outlet shopping, like beneath downtown. It's like the elevation just drops. Like you basically go down like 2 stories. So you're beneath downtown. You're down by the water. And in that outlet center is a Ferris wheel. A nice little Ferris wheel. It's got
overlooks the Hooters.
Yeah, overlooks the Hooters. So that was the trick we learned, was because you can still get somehow, like, there's this creative group of city planners and engineers and the people who set up all this. Somehow, like, with all these cars going through these streets and so much of all of this area around it being fenced off so that, that's the area that you have to pay like $60 to get into. They do somehow also manage that, like, the outlets are still open to the public. So you can go to the outlets, you go to the Ferris wheel. It used to be, I have no idea what it is now, but it used to be $4 per ride. So for $8, we rode the Ferris wheel and saw the cars go fast.
And 7 minutes of Formula One is enough.
Yes. Yeah.
That was picture.
That was just enough for us.
They're loud. They're fast. They go around corners. It's okay. It's cool.
Yeah.
It's loud. It's really loud. I mean, it's loud.
It's loud. Yeah.
And the Ferris wheel is pretty neat too. Actually, the Ferris wheel is more fun than the Formula One. It goes in a circle too.
Because you can see. Then we were like up tall on the Ferris wheel, and we could see all the people on the like towers in downtown Long Beach who were hanging out on their balconies watching the race. That was fun too. And watching the people who were watching.
And it's a perfect metaphor for Formula One. Just going around
in a
circle over and over again.
To end up back where you were.
To end up back where you started. And you can never truly get ahead or behind because the whole thing was fixed to begin with, as the cars are, not to the Ferris wheel. The first Ferris wheel.
Oh man, he likes this book.
The first Ferris wheel was for the Chicago World's Fair.
Was it also called Exposition?
Yes, the World Exposition, something.
The World's Fair.
There are a lot of very cool, interesting things from that World's Fair, but the first Ferris wheel was one such thing, made by a guy named O'Brien. Not true. Something Ferris. Anyways, the big first Ferris wheel was massive. It was huge compared to like the standards we think of today. Each Ferris wheel compartment in this first Ferris wheel, had its own lunch counter. So every little Ferris wheel trolley, carriage had a place where you could go to buy lunch.
It was like room size.
Yeah.
Like actual room, not 2 little benches room.
On the very first ride of it, very first time it went around, it went pretty well. They didn't know how people were going to react. And I think it was like as a guy got near the very apex, he just had like I guess we wouldn't recognize now as a panic attack, and tried to
jump out,
break the window, open the door, and jump out because he was so freaked out by the experience. Ferris wheels, they're pretty great. Cities love them now.
It went way slow. Right.
Yes, it goes. Oh, it went super slow. Yeah, this first Ferris wheel. Now, what do we blame London for the Ferris wheel's sort of resurgence?
It never went away, did it?
I think so. And now it's like a major. I mean, It always was like a carnival thing, right? It was like a thing you did for amusement. I mean, you still do, but
So
now it's like
at amusement parks.
Yes, but now it's
like,
a city attraction.
Why is it at these other places that aren't amusement
Yeah,
parks? Like, oh, the mall in Irvine has one.
Yes.
Like, kind of similar to this one attached to the... I mean...
But of course, there are
these
ones that are in the middle of, like, the hearts of cities.
So the London Eye...
No, isn't it called the Millennium Wheel? The London Ferris wheel.
It was built or opened around 2000.
I think so, but I'm gonna guess that's. And now when you see images of London, it is often used.
Both. We were both right.
Oh, it is the Eye and
it's the London Eye. I guess in terms of like you can go see London, but it is also the Millennium Wheel.
Ah.
I didn't want to. I've been on it, so.
Is it sick as hell?
I mean, it's a Ferris wheel. It's just really a big one.
Yeah, but it is now part of like if you are doing your B-roll in your movie, you're establishing shots like to show where we are. If you've already shown Buckingham Palace and you need another shortcut for we're in London now, you show the Millennium Wheel.
Okay, yeah.
So I wonder, maybe they're not expensive either. Like, maybe a big Millennium Wheel doesn't cost a shit ton of money, and you could build a huge, iconic thing.
Yeah, it's definitely, in terms of, like, iconic, like, it's going to be iconic on your cityscape.
Yeah, yeah.
But, like, compared to a skyscraper, it's got to be a whole lot cheaper. And then, a skyscraper, I mean, if it's you have commercial real estate values. If it's not big enough to be an attraction, it's just a building that people live or work in. I don't. What would be better rent on the real estate? The actual rent from the commercial real estate or the ticket sales from a...
I think you're thinking far too rationally and seriously about what the incentives are for a local city leader in terms of what
it's worth it's like a PR expense.
Yes.
Is your point. Like,
or you get to be the person, that is your thing. You leave I guarantee you, Tony Blair or whatever will say forever, like, he's the guy who was there who commissioned the Millennium. Like, you have this piece of signature architecture that is always there and associated with you. And especially if you can do it quickly. Like, we don't build giant infrastructure projects because there's never time to, like,
do them.
For the politician to pay off for them. Like, if you're like, I'm going to build the world's largest but most commercially important suspension bridge between these two.
It's just it's funny you're bringing that up because we had a major project that basically was going like from the time we moved here to like finished 2 years ago. It like took
if somebody
6 years plus whatever the time before.
No, if somebody could have found a way to make it happen within a single term, it would have been done. The reason it has taken so long and been so disastrous is there is no political incentive to do something like the high-speed transit because you won't be governor long enough to see the end of it. You won't get any benefit for it. But if you can build a Millennium Wheel in 3 years,
then you can get credit.
Yes. You can say, like, look, I did this big thing that now everybody associates with, I think we let this go fallow.
Oh, it wasn't on.
Whoops. Will you de-air this? I'm going to ask you to do a bunch because I have to do a thing.
You have to do a thing?
I'm going to do a penitence, shameful, big, let it go. You have to get us caught up on chat. I'm so sorry, producer. I've let it go. Just as I've let this go bad, I haven't checked in on chat.
You really haven't.
Will you get us caught up there? And will you get us a dedicatee? for our third bag. Sorry, everybody. It's going on some real rants there.
Well, okay, let's work backwards a little bit. KDB thinks Ferris wheels are a little horrifying.
Yes.
Kind of horrifying.
I agree with you.
Yeah, I don't really like heights, so they do get me. I mean, I'm okay because I'm seated. I remember being kind of nervous in the London Eye.
I think
that's the thrill of it.
Well, I think the thing that makes all the difference is whether you are in a enclosed capsule or in an open air capsule. If you're in a Ferris wheel that doesn't have like a
cage,
yeah, it is way more terrifying, especially if it has some rock to it. Those are like the carnival type Ferris wheels. They're usually open caged, open topped, and you can kind of like
you can sit there and get them going.
And it is a surprisingly intense like carnival experience. You think the roller coasters or the tilt-a-whirl, whatever, is going to be super intense, but the one that might be most nerve-wracking, even more than the slingshot thing, because it plays with it's the only one that you have some interactivity with, and you have the time to just sit there and get terrified, is the Ferris wheel when you are at the apex and they're like letting the people off, because you can rock them, you can actually make it move, you have like that agency, and you don't know how long it's going to take beneath you. You can't see behind you.
Oh, I don't.
So
like
if the person who is in front of you swinging it decides to get a little too far, you're just going to tip right over to your death. Of course, they're designed, that's not going to happen, but our brains are reptilian.
Your brain might think that.
Yeah. So I agree with you. Ferris wheels, surprisingly intense, especially in those moments where you're at the very top and it's like you're just sitting there for a second.
We have some video from last year when we went to Disneyland, and we did ride the Pixar Pier Ferris wheel, which I saw other Ferris wheels have this design, but it was new to me. Oh,
is this the one that slides?
Yeah. They're like these ovals inside the whole wheel. And so some of the carriages were on the outside of the wheel, and they were stationary, just like a normal Ferris wheel, that they would just stay on the outside of the wheel the whole time. But on the inside of the wheel, of the circle, there were like these tracks, and there were carriages on the tracks inside. And so as the wheel turns, you're looping around that track. But of course, at the rate of them loading people on, and you hit the oval and you like slide down.
Yeah, that was an extra little thrill. I liked it.
It was not recommended if you find them too terrifying, but it was intense.
Well, and
we live to tell the tale.
There is one more Ferris wheel innovation. I've only ever seen this one time.
Spin?
I rode it at the time, and it was super awesome. But I don't think I've seen anywhere else. And that is a double Ferris wheel. A Ferris wheel on top of a Ferris wheel. That then also interchange with each other.
Oh.
So it's two Ferris wheels basically stacked on top of each other, both of which can rotate with each other. So at one point, you are on the apex of the apex. You're on top of the Ferris wheel, on the second one. And that is a very intense experience. Oh, did you find a picture? Yeah. Yes, that's it. It's wild.
Like carnival style.
I went to it at the Erie County, Pennsylvania Fair. The Erie County Fair. It's a great county fair. Congratulations, Erie. You did it. You're really low on the Great Lakes. I mean, producer, when we think of the worst Great Lake, let's say it at the same time. The worst bottom tier of the Great Lakes. I guarantee we're going to say the same one. 3, 2, 1. Huron. Yes. Not practice at all. It's just a shit lake.
I don't know the Great Lakes at all.
Well, you know the one that you don't like.
Yeah.
And Erie
no,
gets...
that's not true. Because I love Chicago.
You're a Michigan man. You're Superior Sally.
Lake Michigan.
Yeah, those are truly Great Lakes. Lake Huron, you're great by association. Get out of here.
Just the greatness of the other.
Yeah.
So that was number 3. Sorry, I got distracted.
Dewey Dolphin.
And then Kyle. Perp, Schnurp.
Dewey.
The Perp, Schnurp.
Dolphin, Mooney.
All right. So that was, you did a...
No, that does not actually count.
Oh, it didn't count. That was just a little penitent.
Yes. Now, did you get us a dedicatee? And did we only get through one comment? Go on.
KDV talking to us about Ferris wheels says that we nailed it about Ferris wheels.
Thank you.
And you came through talking about Pennsylvania.
Ah, the great Erie, Pennsylvania.
And also, because she said preach earlier.
I don't remember what we were.
Oh, you were preaching, dude.
About what? It's been a long time. The volcano turned off. It's been at least 30 minutes.
That was
oh shit, everything's falling apart.
Don't pay the big guys.
Ah, thank you. Right. Oh, I was supposed to forget about that.
And she also asked a good question that we didn't answer.
Yes.
So we can go backwards, continue to go backwards through comments. What's the food culture like in Long Beach? Exploring a city through food is the best.
I can answer it this way, and I think this might work. Our locally infamous, world or nationally, temporarily a national curio. Our restaurant, Bored and Hungry?
Oh.
Was it called Bored and Hungry?
It was called Bored and Hungry.
Bored and Hungry closed. It was a restaurant that somehow tried to incorporate NFTs and crypto into a restaurant. They bought the restaurant owner bought some of the Bored Apes, the Bored Apes,
multiple apes.
Yes, and of course 2020 when those things were worth a unfathomable amount of money, and they opened a restaurant about it. And then they quickly stopped accepting crypto because it's functionally useless as a payment mechanism, although despite being ostensibly what it was created for. Weird. But it has gone out of business, thank God, and it has been replaced by a modestly priced small Mexican chain. It is next to another local business. Excuse me, not a local business, the greatest international business of all time, Kentucky Fried Chicken, that is out of business and is being replaced with a local, modestly sized, modestly priced Mexican chain. It is on a road that has somewhere between 10 to 600 great, incredible, reasonably priced, small, local Mexican chain restaurants. And you know what? When something works as well as it does, you don't change it. That's what Long Beach's food culture is like.
Dude.
Oh, and also the window.
That's... Okay, well, should you... I mean, first you have to say that, like, you don't really engage with restaurants the way that somebody who's really into food culture might.
Correct.
Like, if you're just going to be judgy about restaurants closing, you can do that anywhere.
Oh, it wasn't even judgy about restaurants.
Not judgy. Just like, you know, judgy, just sort of making a joke out of like how many Mexican restaurants there are.
I mean,
not a joke.
Well, it was kind of attempted to be presented in a funny way.
You were trying to be funny.
I do think there is a great reason for it. It's because people,
like you said,
love them. Everybody loves them. They're hugely successful. They usually provide a pretty great living for the people working there, owning them, running them. They're often, are replacing things like fucking KFCs. Who it's sad to see a goddamn KFC go.
Yeah.
And I think it's a good thing that those things are being replaced with things that people actually seem to want and provide a better standard of living than some, again, shitty chain or whatever. And the other alternative was a restaurant based around NFTs.
Yes. So there's that. There's like, what is there? There's everything in Long Beach, almost. I get, there really is most of every type of food in greater LA. There's some, like deficiencies, like, we have a couple of okay Korean restaurants, but there's other places in Orange County and Los Angeles County that are better to go to, like if you really want Korean food, Korean barbecue, etc. Like examples like that. But I can get a little more in-depth about Long Beach food scene. Also, as someone who doesn't really engage, I don't eat there for the most part, but for whatever reason, I do read, there is a Facebook group literally called Long Beach Food Scene, started by a food journalist in Long Beach who's written a lot about Long Beach's food scene, and there are almost 65,000 members in this Facebook group. So it is a huge, diverse group. But the food scene, to go to like the greatest of accolades, there is a Michelin star in Long Beach now. 4 or 5 years ago, Michelin started rating Los Angeles restaurants again. Apparently it was a big deal that like they used to come and eat in Los Angeles restaurants and then they stopped. So they're back. That's great for like the Los Angeles restaurant scene at large. So the place that is a like chef driven restaurant. They're doing like, chef's menu. So I have to either like find somebody to go with to try that out. Did
you say the name of it?
Oh, it's called Heritage. I didn't, yeah. Kind of in the same vein, there's a restaurant, like walking distance for us, like a mile and a half from our place. I suspect, one day, Weeats texted me, he's like, oh my gosh, I just saw a celebrity. I just saw Nick Holt across the street. I saw Nicholas Holt, and obviously his...
Across the street? Homie was, I could have, reached out and stabbed him. Or, shook his hand. Whatever it is, one of those two things, that was a proxy for closeness.
Cut his hair.
Cut his hair and sniffed it.
Yeah, take a lock of his hair. Oh, I thought he was across the street.
No, he was just walking
right at you.
Yeah.
Could have stabbed him.
The dogs could have bitten him.
So macabre.
He's a tall man.
Yeah, we talked a lot about his height.
Well, why were we talking about him?
Oh, because you saw him, and based on where you saw him, I was like, oh, it's because of this new restaurant that's there.
I thought you said Beast on where you saw him because Nicholas Hoult played Beast in the X-Men movies. But you said Based.
Based, not Beast. Yeah. Yeah. I think it is. You're always asking me. You're like, we walked past another fancy restaurant last night, and you go, where are all these people from? Like, where are they from? Are they from Long Beach that they're eating here? Yeah, some of them are. Some of them are from, drove an hour from LA or Orange County. And we heard people who were like, oh, it's like 2 hours to get home. Anyways, I was just like, I think Nick Hoult was there because there's this hot new restaurant, and you were like a block away from the hot new restaurant. And surely that's why he was in our neighborhood with his fam.
Beast himself.
I loved him first from About a Boy.
When he was
his little stinker, little nerdy little boy.
That's my celebrity sighting of the year. That was a good one. Speaking of Long Beach food scene, one of my other rare celebrity sightings was I saw local Long Beach restaurateur, Wee Man, who owned no longer a believe it or not a restaurant called Chronic Tacos. Wee Man.
Oh, a taco place with a weed reference in its name.
But I saw him not coming out of one of his own restaurants. I saw him coming out of a sushi restaurant that closed a couple weeks later.
I think the chain still exists, but we just don't have our local Long Beach one.
Yeah. I haven't seen Wee Man since. I'd love to get another chance.
We did see Jackass 4.
Well, I haven't seen it personally.
Oh.
I gotta get through this. We still have so much to do. Producer, thank you for clarifying the food question.
We do have 3 more units to do.
Yes, that's why we gotta go. We gotta keep moving.
Wait.
We're gonna be fine. We're going to be fine. You gotta keep us moving. You gotta keep me moving. Producer, I know. Yes, I know what time it is. We're working. We've got this. If we have to, we can upgrade to dabs. Third bag. We're gonna go to a mighty next. It's gonna be speed round. It's gonna go quick. So, I'm about to be through my third one. Next question. Next cool comment. Next cool topic gets
going. Well, we'll get another one.
Yes, do it. Sega, I'm sorry I missed you, man.
What are your thoughts on reincarnation? I think that earns a dedication too.
Beautiful. Sega, that is pinned. I'm going to get to it. I'm going to finish this bag. We're going to do a mighty here. Producer, will you load us up with a capsule? Oh, there's one right in that little... Not there.
That's the youth ones.
Thank you. We'll get that turned on. Got to speed round it. Because we are getting close to the end here, but that's okay. I tried. I'm doing it. There's no excuses. It's happening. I tried to pace it better, but we're gonna have to come up with a better mechanism for 420 to just. And I think it's gonna have to incorporate violence some way. What motivates me? There you go. Violence.
No, if you're gonna go 8 or more in 4 hours.
No, I think it does actually have to be. I do?
Oh, yeah. You have to do one every 30 minutes.
Well, I had that math already.
Do that. That was pretty easy.
2 every hour.
Yeah. 8 and 4.
I can do that math. Which means I'm not that high. Which means
you're way behind, dude.
Let's do it. Okay. Uh, reincarnation.
Yeah.
We put our capsule in. I can't believe I forgot to turn it on. It doesn't take long. Reincarnation. Do I believe in it? Sega? No. In a word. In several words, no, not really. And well, no, definitely not. But I think it's still a fun philosophical exercise. I'm not much of a.
Could reincarnation just be another way of interpreting the multiple instances of oneself across the multiple or infinite verses?
Now you sound like a Jesuit scholar or something. Someone who's trying to try to do the impossible task of taking something like logic and taking something like faith and trying to combine them together when they are inherently opposing forces. And so, the Jesuits seem pretty cool though. So what do I know? But if you want to interpret it that way so that you can say that, but
at some other time on stream you were talking about, or maybe this was our conversation after stream.
Quantum suicide?
Yeah.
Yes. No, we did talk about quantum suicide on stream.
So, I mean,
that is not reincarnation though.
Because there's no re.
Yeah, there's no, it is just, and it isn't even.
Go ahead and explain what it is, briefly, if you can.
I will
and
try.
Also drink, and also keep doing your bag.
And then start doing this, our fourth unit. Oh, did you get us our gift? Run. No. Dolphin. That's two. It's a fun thought exercise. We've got our Anthony Michaels or Michael Anthony's or
he's both
Mikey Tony's, Tony Mikey's, Scott's. Oh, he also has a first name is his last name. He's got 3 first names. What an asshole.
Hall, not Scott.
Oh right, yeah. No, then he's fine. He's just kind of a prick.
He's probably a nice guy.
Probably. I love you, man. If you're watching, which of course you're not. Reincarnation.
Focus.
Oh, I was supposed to explain quantum suicide.
Yeah, in like a sentence or two. I'm gonna.
If
here's that think that, and now explain it.
All right, I'm gonna use it. Just describe it. I guess assuming that we live not. This is not in the Rick and Morty sense of a multiverse.
Okay.
This is not that. This is a universe that you or I probably are not in, but may possibly be in, which is an infinitely unbounded universe. Not a multiverse, not a sense where there are multiple dimensions that we could all just travel. Now, it could functionally happen there, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about if we live in a universe that is truly infinite.
There are infinite verses.
Yes. Then you could, and this is not the only, this is a really dumb, weird way to describe this.
It's almost basically a thought experiment, right?
It's only a thought experiment. Yes. Yeah.
Not that it's a real experiment.
No. You do not exist in this thought experiment I'm describing. You don't. Don't even consider it. But if you want to prove that you do live in an infinite universe, well, you won't be this person because the chances that you would be this person are so infinitesimally small as to be functionally zero. But they're not. But they are. Functionally.
No one...
Yes.
We're talking about something no one knows.
This was supposed to be quick.
It's supposed to be 1 or 2 sentences.
There will be... You can just... If you attempt suicide and you find yourself unsuccessful, and you find yourself then being repeatedly unsuccessful, like let's say you are taking a bunch of pills, you take a something that has that's going to certainly kill you. You wake up, you're alive. You put a gun to your head, the gun misfires, you're still alive. You get put in front of a firing squad and all of the pistols misfire. If that happens to you, if it happens to you like 3 or 4 times, you could probably say, oh, well, I do live in an infinite universe because I'm the person who happens to be the one that survived all of these random things, because there will be some version of me out there in an infinite universe, which means there are infinite versions of exactly me and exactly this moment. That everybody will have, there will be an infinite number of me's who have tried this, and there will be one of them in which this happened, because that is just the consequence function of infinity. Which is not a real number; it's a concept. So this is a thought experiment.
So it's
not actually
it's
true.
not real. It's not provable.
No.
In the same way that like absolute zero might not be achievable.
Yes, we almost certainly don't even live in a universe that is infinite in size.
There's no. It's like it's a good way to try and understand how big infinity is, but it's not. It's not a useful way to think about the universe.
There is nothing that we know of, that we have proof of, other than things we have invented, that is infinite. That we don't know of anything that is truly exists in nature that has infinity as a sum. We actually know that there is not an infinity in the opposite direction. There is not an infinity small. It ends. There is a smallest thing. There's a smallest unit of time. There's a smallest unit of space. I mean, functionally the same thing. So we even have proof that there is not an infinity in the opposite sense, in an infinitesimal sense. But there probably also is not an infinity in the physical, that sense, that we probably do live in some kind of bounded torus-shaped universe that just loops back on itself. Great question that nobody asks. I'm going to dedicate their next one to you. I get to do that, and we got to go quick.
I'm going. Speaking of going backwards, I'm going backwards because I'm still sitting here thinking about the food scene.
Oh, okay.
And I'm looking at a link you sent me.
Oh, do share.
This is a personal niche celebration. You were saying, there's not any reasons you want to go back to East Tennessee. There is one thing that you might miss from there. And that is getting to go to Bojangles.
Man.
Great southern fast food chain. I mean, this just reveals a lot about our palate and diet. We were talking about Popeyes earlier, fried chicken joint, and Bojangles is yet another fried chicken joint where you can get just like every version of a breakfast sandwich on a biscuit. Loved Bojangles. A friend told us to go try their Bowberry biscuits, and that started a true, fast food love affair of our sort of last few years in East Tennessee. And the chain was always just only in the Southeast as far as I know. And what do you know? Weeats the other day sends me a link. Bojangles is coming to Southern California.
If you want to eat a day's worth of calories in a breakfast sandwich, Bojangles is the place to go.
Cheaply, too. Yeah, and cheap. Because there's plenty of brunch spots where you could do that. But also pay like $30 for your breakfast.
They have a I think it's called the Cajun filet that no, I was gonna try to do something about like how bad it is for you, but I can't denigrate it. It's great, man. I can't wait for.
Does it compare to the Chick-fil-A breakfast biscuit?
It's like it, but even saltier. Yum. I'm genuinely excited. Bojangles, if you live in part of the country that has Bojangles, this 420, treat yourself to some Bowberry biscuits. That's a Bowberry on top. Damn, I sunk that one. I'm still just coming up with great little nuggets here. So I'm, not that high, not that worried about 420. It's gonna be fine.
Is your mighty about to die?
It'll be fine. It'll be fine through the rest of this, but it will need to be charged. I should just, if the charger's long enough, I could just have it plugged in next to all our other devices.
Look at that. I'll help you to remember.
That is done. Ooh. All right.
No Bojangles for Katie. I'm sorry.
My guess is it's coming soon. Wherever yeah, it should. If it's coming out this way, expect aggressive national expansion. Followed likely by a bankruptcy 5 to 7 years later after they overexpand and they are too optimistic about growth projections, and then we'll talk about they'll close 500 to 700 locations. They'll say that they'll come back stronger than ever. Then they'll have because they're going to try to cut a bunch of budget and make some budget cuts. They'll probably have some kind of salmonella scare, which will scare even more people off. Then they'll probably have to whoever owns them, if they're not independently owned, will probably try to offload them, sell them to some private equity group who will then say, oh, well, we're the right people to turn Bojangles around. We're going to right this ship. And then, of course, the exact opposite happens. They just load them up with a bunch of debt. Even more Bojangles close. The quality that we all come to love goes even further down the shitter. You no longer desire the Bowberry biscuit because now it's almost always guaranteed to be dried out and desiccated. And just a shell of what it once was. And the thing that you crave is no longer Bojangles, but the memory of Bojangles. And that might happen. Who knows? But you know what I hope happens? I hope they come to Long Beach, and I hope I can get myself some Bowberry biscuits because it's great.
It is. I guess we don't know specifically they're going to be in Long Beach, but it did say plans for 30 in the county.
One of those got to be coming to Long Beach.
One of those got to be coming to Long Beach.
Gimme.
Chat demands a hit.
Yes. We got to get our fifth. Oh, clear out the capsule.
And then plug it in. But focus on the hit. We'll queue up the gifts.
We're going to do a blinker for our fifth here.
A dolphin.
A blinker for our fifth of sixth
Mr.
on these
Movie.
days of haze. I do like seeing it say ass when those disappear.
It just reappears.
Yeah, just get a little glimpse of it.
Oh no. Weeats was out of the shot.
I must have slid it.
I probably did that. Alright. And there he is.
Leo toking it up with us. Leo. Oh, you were gonna... Oh, yeah, I dedicated this one to you. Thanks, producer. Producer, it's been so great having you here for this 420 week. Boy, it would not be... It would... Things would not be going so well right now if it weren't for her. Thank you for being here, producer. This one's for you, our fifth of six.
Aww. W asks, how long until 420?
Part of the world are you in, Joe?
Maybe
I think you
gotta count it by your units.
Oh, I am
Got one more for this stream.
7 units. No, 8 units till 420.
Wait.
This one more, and
One
then
more,
7 tomorrow.
And then 7 tomorrow.
Is 8.
That is 8. That adds up to 8.
You're right. That is such an easier way of telling time. Why don't we just adopt that? There'd be so much less confusion. How many units of weed?
And on Weeats streams,
Yeah.
which there's no appointed time for.
Yeah,
People keep saying, like, oh, when are you going to stream? When are you going to stream? We're like, tomorrow.
I like it. I think it would be great. Yeah, it's like, oh man, I got to get up at 2.5 weed units tomorrow because I got to study for a test. Like, there's no confusion there. Everybody would know. Like, it's cool. Whew. Man, this has been a fun stream.
Joe asking. So Joe, you definitely covered this in your first stream, and maybe even first stream back.
Okay.
But maybe you could give us the quick and dirty version of what happened during your latest hiatus and what brought you back.
Joe, thank you for the question. Happy to answer it. It's I mean, it is.
It's kind of boring.
No, your question's.
The question is totally valid. It's just the answer and the reasoning.
Yes, it's just.
I'll let it speak it for itself.
Yeah, I really will do it quickly. I had received another strike or whatever on my channel from YouTube, just randomly on one of my reviews. Don't really understand why. Their reasoning is
opaque.
Great description.
Yeah.
They, for the third time, removed me from the partners program and warned me if I made any new content that was like the thing that they gave me the penalty for, that my channel would be risk being banned. So I just had to stop because I didn't know how not to replicate it. It was pretty standard review. So then, like, this is the second time this has happened, or the third, whatever. It's hard to keep track. I just got an email from them, like 2 months ago now, or more. It's like, oh, you've been reaccepted into the partner program. Why? I have no idea. What changed? No clue. No reason for it.
You didn't take down the video.
No. And no, of course I didn't. No. They didn't. Yeah, and they didn't remove it.
And you hadn't. I mean, like, the appeals process and everything was over.
Yes.
A year ago.
Yeah. And that's okay. I promise. That's enough. Yeah.
That's it.
Yes. I'm back in their good graces again somehow for some reason. So I like doing this a lot. I find it fun. So I came back and hope to stick around for a while, but who knows? It's take it day by day. Great question, Joe. We've done 5.
And probably good to recap for anybody else who has joined in the meantime.
Yes. And so...
Did you say hi to John Jay?
No, John Jay. Hello. Welcome back, man. Good to see you. Thanks for being here.
Gonzo Baptist.
Yes. Thanks for being here. I've got one more weed unit to do. Forgot to bring it with me. It's in our freezer. Feel like let's do something a little different. I'm going to go grab a dab. We'll do a nice sized dab. And then
it'll be a nice one.
Yeah. Tomorrow, and we will be streaming again, or certainly I will be. Hopefully our producer is going to be joining us. We'll be back doing more weed. Not 100% sure on time. It'll probably be later. It'll probably be later than it is now when we stream. But it will be probably doing something. Probably playing some Splatoon or another game. I gotta rest the voice as much as I can, unfortunately.
Looking ahead to the mega stream on Saturday.
Where we're gonna do a bunch. So, gonna be it's probably a positive. It's a great thing. Take it as nobody needs to hear this for that much. So, it'll be more chilled, more relaxed. Still plenty of the stuff everybody comes to see, but I just won't be yammering so much. I'm gonna go grab some concentrate. I'll be right back. We'll do our holy shit 6th unit of weed on these days of haze. This dog he's ready. He's excited about it too.
He's ready for a walk. He's ready for a walk and then dinner. But now they have to watch him. There's a dog watching. There's another dog. Aww. All right. Hey, welcome back.
No, my pleasure, man. No problem at all. I hadn't really explained it other than maybe once or twice, and it comes up a lot. So glad to have an opportunity to explain it again in case anybody hadn't heard it. But
it's so nice that people care.
Just a little bit of debris on that.
There's definitely some dog hair on there.
I got it. There was very gross. But didn't have anything else. And oh right, gonna have to do a lot of extra preparing, all that fun stuff tomorrow as well. Oh, we have another thing we have to do too before Saturday.
Yeah.
Saturday will be 1 p.m. to 5 p.m.
PST.
Pacific time.
Because then that goal is
4 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern time. I think we're okay. We're okay. Eastern time. I think I got all those conversions. That the math is a little tricky at this point, but I think I got it. Adding, subtracting 3. It's a little tough, but that's the plan for Saturday. Friday, a little bit more up in the air. But let's do our last one here before we sign off for the day.
All right, let's cue up the GIFs.
Oh, give us the rundown.
We got Dewey. Dewey wants it. Dewey thinks he kind of wants it.
Let's get that dolphin.
Dolphin sliding in. This is on, right? It's not on.
It's not on. Whoops. Well, we're gonna just let the dolphin play out a little bit. It's my favorite one in some ways. So, yeah, you got it. There we go. Let's let it heat up. And my lack of preparedness is your...
Speaking of preparedness, plug in the Mighty.
The outlet, the plug-in is not in here. I need to plug it in here.
He lied. Or I think, well, no, that's okay.
I don't know if I just poorly explained it, but I did mean it. It wasn't, I needed to.
Yeah, I definitely understood what you were saying as like, oh, it's right there.
No, as in, oh, why don't I just plug it in right there?
You could have it right there, and it would make a lot more sense if it were right there.
Yes.
Yes, we do have, I'm looking right now at a plug it could be plugged into.
And speaking of my poor preparation, while we're waiting for this to heat up, we'll do one more of these as
oh, yeah, more.
Are we walking to where we're going next?
We're going to the movies. I think we're, well, we still barely could, but we'll just catch a ride.
Oh, right. We have an awesome thing in Long Beach. Speaking of how cool the city of Long Beach is, where are we on there, by the way?
It's like 350, 360.
We're getting there. Speaking of how cool Long Beach is, what a dope place. Surely I've just explained this before, but maybe not. I don't remember. For almost 2 years, year and a half at this point.
Yeah.
The city has created this awesome, totally free service that's in 2 different spots in Long Beach. The downtown area, where the Grand Prix will be tomorrow, and then closer to where we are, out where all the mega rich people in Long Beach live. They have little shuttle services. They go, they just have a little bounded area, little area in which they are in service. It's not a tram or a bus that goes on a predetermined path.
It's basically a golf cart.
A golf cart with an Uber system, where you just say, come pick me up. A golf cart comes and gets you, and you tell them where to drop you off in this little area.
Yeah, as long as it's in that.
It's a pretty generous area.
Covers maybe what, 3 miles?
Yeah, and it's awesome. It's great. It's free. It's wonderful.
Yeah, to be in the boundary is really awesome.
Yeah, we use it all the time. It's available here not every day and at all times. It's on the weekends, but they are hopefully expanding it. And it seems to be like this cottage industry here in Southern California, where all these cities are starting to add these little shuttle services. It's neat. I don't quite, the math of it doesn't really make sense to me in any way. Like, it seems like such an exorbitant expense for such small utility, but at the same time, it's maybe the only way to get rich people, rich residents, or rich tourists to use something is if it resembles Uber. They're not going to use just generic public transportation. So
right.
Maybe, but it also just seems like another example of
the rich get richer or
get sicker, cooler benefits. The rich people get the nicest perks in the city, and instead of having to take the bus, they get a fucking custom-ass Uber. It's free. The bus costs money.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's pretty easy. Well,
anyways.
You guys probably can't hear this, but there's a dog that's complaining.
Here we go. Oh, finish off the train here, please, producer.
Okay.
I'm ready to go.
We paused at number 2, so now you're ready to go. So we can bring up Mooney.
We got Mooney.
Number 3. We got the cool kid.
Man, I wish I could do that. Damn, he is cool.
At least you had the glasses like last night.
That's only for Splatoon. Otherwise, they'd just be kind of blinding. So good to see you again, Leo. I'll catch you again tomorrow, buddy.
And a new one.
It's just kind of generic. If you want to know, I just went to the biggest GIF repository, typed in weed, and downloaded the first 10 that had something relevant.
I'm gonna guess that Dewey you specifically looked up, Dewey.
Guilty. As charged. Yes. Whoa. Whoa. Damn, if you guys were Dewey Cox fans, if you're Walk Hard fans, you would be saying, he's still got it.
What is it?
God only knows. Thank you. Here we go.
All right. While you're doing that, Joe W. asked, how many units will be consumed on 420? Sorry,
Joe.
Missed this as well.
I love that you use the terminology. It's so great. Thank you so much, Joe. That really made my day. I'm going to say units. I love that. Thank you, Joe. Really tickled. Genuinely tickled. How many units? That's a great question. And we did do the math earlier. And we came up with at least 8.
He promises at least.
At least 8. 8 units at a minimum.
He wants to do more, but he cannot promise it. But he promises 8.
You guys, nobody wants me to do more.
Everybody wants you to do more. Hey,
peer pressure is bad. Don't peer pressure. Unless it's for somebody to do something cool. Then it's totally cool to peer pressure.
But yeah, that was the little... Oh, Joe's looking for 10 at least.
Joe, you better be there for some encouragement, man. I gotta say,
he does thrive on it.
I am not immune to the thrill of the audience. You know, I am Fade Rotha Harkonnen, and when I hear the chants of the crowd, like, I don't need In that movie, he fought somebody who didn't have drugs, wasn't on them, but
okay, but
I will be.
Yeah,
I think that worked.
Sure, go see Dune 2 if you haven't.
Yeah, that's all I was trying to say with that. Go see Dune 2, and something about weed. I don't know. It's gonna be fun, or as the kids say, lit.
So
Did we start
on Sunday? We started on Monday. You started on Monday.
Yes. I mean,
Days of Haze.
Yeah.
Countdown to 420. So you had 3 on Monday, and 4 on Tuesday, and 5 on Wednesday. Plus a little bonus yesterday.
Joe, thank you so much. Yes, plus a little bonus. Thank you. And thank you for recapping there. I just read his comment, and it was so great. Joe, I
4th annual.
I appreciate it so much, my friend. And I can't wait to see you really try. It'll be fun. That being said, that's it. We're done. We've got to call our cool ass shuttle service.
Blaze it.
And thanks, Blaze It girl. She's passing it to herself.
Yeah.
Neat. Puff, puff, pass.
Puff, puff, blaze it.
It's self-care or something. Are you going to do the song?
I was thinking about it.
Do it. Because then I can walk out. Okay. Can't do it.